Okay, so we will open with HighGold Resources, a guy who's working in Alaska and in Timmins. And HighGold has already a resource on the Alaska project, 900,000. It's high grade, it's small. That's good, maybe very efficient. Could be very efficient. And yeah, Darwin, please come on the stage. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks for having me.
Hi. Welcome to Germany. It's the first time in Germany?
First time presenting in Germany. Yeah. So
great.
Feels great to be here. It's nice to be back in Europe, actually.
Yeah.
After 2 years. So.
Yeah, and maybe the last time you can present in person in Germany for the winter.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, we got the presentation.
Should we hit it?
Maybe you just start. Okay.
All right.
Please.
Well, thank you. HighGold Mining. We're an explorer developer focused on high-grade gold in North America. Just a real high-level overview of the company. We feel our value is backstopped by a very high-quality, high-grade resource. We just recently closed about a $19 million financing that's brought our working capital up to $27 million, so we're well capitalized. And our lead asset is the Johnson Tract in Alaska, where we're very much focused on growing our high-grade resource. It's approaching critical mass. We have just under 900,000 ounces gold equivalent there. And we also have been very successful at demonstrating the broader opportunity of the large property. We've got what we think is a project with multi-deposit potential, and we released about a month ago 6.4 meters at 578 grams per ton gold and 2,200 grams per ton silver, which was a nice validation of that concept. We've just wrapped up drilling for the year there. We drilled a little over 16,000 meters, and we have over 40 holes in the assay lab pending, so lots of results to come. In the meantime, we've started up drills in Ontario at our Timmins project, which we plan to build into sort of a second pillar of value creation for the company. We have a very, very large land position in the Timmins camp, and we've been quite active over the last 24 months consolidating around our core Croesus property, which was a past producer, and only just now getting going with the drilling there, which keeps us busy for the next several months. Capitalization structure, about 73 million shares issued and outstanding. Market cap Canadian is sort of between 110 and 120 million right now. Cash, as I say, is about 27 million. Great roster of shareholders, both institutional, primarily blue chip US and Canadian institutions. Some well-recognized mining personalities that hold HighGold in their own personal portfolio, including Rob McEwen and John Robbins, John Tugnetti with Haywood. We also have a senior gold producer who controls about 9.9%. They just topped up their interest in our last financing, writing a check for $5 million. And as far as analyst coverage go, we currently have 2 analysts, Brock Coulter-John with Cormark and Stephen Zook with Stifel, and quite a broad assortment of newsletter writers and other followers. We are really a technically driven group. We pride ourselves on our technical strength, and we focus on jurisdictions and deposit types that we know well. And that includes Alaska and Timmins. Ian Cunningham Dunlop is my VPX. He leads our technical team, and he's got a great bench below him in terms of geologists exploring the properties. And our board is a very well-respected group. I won't spend the time going into the detail here, but great group, contribute to what we're doing. So just to get you oriented where we are in North America, so Johnson Tract is actually in a very accessible part of Alaska. It's just off of Tidewater on Cook Inlet. There's a workforce across the inlet at the towns of Kenai and Homer that are not very far away. That matters in terms of developing an asset. And then obviously Timmins, we're very well located in the heart of the Timmins camp. We have a very large 240 square kilometer land package there. And this sample you see there is actually from the Croesus mine. It was a past producer that produced in the early 1900s through to 1930s intermittently. It was known for the spectacular high-grade gold. It was mined out. We've now expanded on that property package significantly. So I'll go into each of these. First, focusing on Johnson Tract. So Johnson what we're doing there is as far as our business plan for Johnson Tract, we think we have the makings of the ideal mineral deposit. And what I mean by that is a deposit that has both grade and width. That generally translates into very attractive economics, both from a low capex and high margin type operation. So that's what we're targeting. It's also the type of project that would be a small footprint underground mine where you put a lot of the waste products back underground. And unique to Alaska is we're leasing the project from Alaska Native Group or Alaska Native Corp. They had a very progressive and unique way that they settled land claims back in the 1970s. It's been, this is their 50-year anniversary. And they make phenomenal partners and really have that kind of social license from the get-go. So how we build that value right now is with the drill bit. We're focused on that sort of transformational value creation by growing the resource and by making new discoveries on the property itself. Just to get you located on the property, be about 15 miles of road building. It's under 10 miles to Tidewater, but it'd be about 15 miles of fairly straightforward road building to get to deep water where you could build a loadout facility. Workforce is about 40 miles across the inlet on the Kenai Peninsula. And highlighted here in the lower end there in the south is where the resource sits. And then about 4 kilometers north is the new discovery we just made this year. And don't let all the ice and snow here fool you. It's actually quite accessible, pretty easy road building along lowlands over most of the property area. So, we talk about grade, and we are one of the higher grade undeveloped gold assets in North America, but that's not really what sets us apart so much as the fact that we have that grade with tremendous true width. And from a mining engineer or mineability standpoint, it really does differentiate this asset from many others. It lends itself to your much lower cost underground mining. It's all one big blob. We're sort of true widths anywhere from 20 to 50 meters plus. Most 10-gram systems are sort of 2 to 3 to 4 meters. So this is very meaningful. You can build ounces fast, and there's a lot to like from a mineability standpoint. Continuing with that theme, in terms of just accessing the project, you can get at it with relatively short underground lateral access with about a 2% ramp from the valley floor. This would get you into the highest grade part first. You could mine from the bottom up. It would be gravity assist. So again, lots of attractive attributes for development. We are not yet at the economic study stage. We hope to be there quite soon on the back of an updated resource. So this here is a long section looking at that deposit. So what we have defined there in yellow, that's our resource, which is 750,000 ounces gold equivalent in the indicated category and another 134,000 in the inferred category. And shown here in the dashed red is the outline of sort of mineralization that's been defined to date that's outside of that resource. So one of our focuses this year has been backfilling or infilling that area to bring it into resource, as well as stepping out. So all the yellow stars here are those target areas. And at the end of this year's program, so once we have all the assays back, we will update the resource. That'll probably be April, I would guess, before that hits the market, by the time we get all the assays and process that. But that's our plan. Shown here on the 2 red pierce points, those are the results we've released to date. We've only issued a few so we've got a big backlog of assays still to come, but a great start. We stepped out about 100 meters and hit 4.3 meters at 13 grams gold and 200 grams silver. It was a really nice grade, not quite as wide as the thickest part of the deposit, a very mineable grade and width. And then we drilled one that was more of a metallurgical hole to collect sample for a met study, and it was 56 meters of 18 grams per ton gold. So beautiful intersection, highlighting really the tenor and style of mineralization we have here. Switching now to sort of the regional opportunity. So it is quite a large property, and one of the things that attracted us to the property when we acquired it was there's a deposit, but that deposit sat within about a 12-kilometer trend of alteration and mineralization. You could fly the length of the property and see lots of Gossan and other prospects. And none of them had really been worked since the early 1980s when the original deposit was discovered. So we've been focusing on evaluating those other prospects, getting them ready to the drill-ready stage. So this year's drill program that we just completed, about half of that meterage was dedicated to the Difficult Creek prospect area where we made the new high-grade discovery of 6 meters of almost 580 grams per ton gold. Very busy slide here. There's a lot going on, and it's a little bit of the point. It's a big footprint. Is this prospect? It has a big alteration and mineralization footprint. Lots of veins all over the place. A mixture of silver and gold. We're just getting started here. We did a first pass drill program, and we couldn't have been happier with the results of the first hole. We have another 16 holes to come from this prospect, but this one will certainly be a major focus area for us in 2022. So switching here with the time I have left, just moving to the Timmins gold camp. We do, Timmins, for those who don't know, and I'm sure most of you do know, it's really the epicenter of gold production in Canada. It's produced over 70 million ounces of gold. Very, very, very long history, very mature camp. And what that means, it's actually a very difficult place to establish a meaningful land position. And so we have been able to establish a very large land position. It is one of the larger land positions held by a junior explorer in Timmins, gold explorer, and more specifically around our Croesus property on the right or the east end of the belt. What we've done is we've done about 12 different property deals over the last 24 months, consolidating what was a very fragmented patchwork of claims that all dated back to the turn of the century, and most of which have seen very little work since the early 1930s. And at the core of it is the Croesus mine that we control as well. So we know there's gold there. We know there's all kinds of other prospects on the property, and we're surrounded by several multi-million ounce deposits. So it is earlier stage. We don't have a resource here yet, but it's prime hunting grounds, and we're very excited to be drilling here. And we've just launched a drill program in Timmins here at the beginning of the month. We'll drill right up to about Christmas and then start again in the new year. So this will keep us busy in the winter when we're inactive in Alaska. So just a recap of the catalyst for the company. We've got a lot of assays in the hopper. They should be coming to market here fairly soon, and steady flow of news between now and into January. That's a mix of deposit expansion and deposit definition drilling, as well as drilling for new discoveries on the greater property. We have new metallurgical data, which we think is very important. This is a polymetallic deposit, so having firm understanding of that metallurgy is important. We have good historical data, but we want our own to support that. All of that will feed into an updated resource estimate, which should hit the market sometime in the first half of the year. If I had to guess, I would say April. And in the meantime, we'll be doing lots of drilling in the Timmins area, and we've got a very healthy treasury to execute our plan here. We're good stewards of capital. We spend it wisely, and it's our intent to create a lot more value with the dollars we've been given. So that's us. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yes.
Can we expect further assays this year?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Can we expect further assays this year after the spectacular results that you already have?
Shall we expect more assays? Yeah, but there will be quite a lot more assays still to come. I can't tell you if they're going to be the same as that first hole. We set the bar pretty high on that first one. It was better, but we're happy with what we're seeing with the project as a whole. Yeah.
But we can really expect further assays even in this year, or probably only next year.
Yeah, so we would expect assays between, we'll put them out in batches between now and the end of the year, and I expect we won't have all the assays back till end of January, based on the delays we've seen with the labs. So between now and the end of January, we'll have more assays to come. Yeah.
Okay, one more question. If not, I have one. You got 25 million in treasury. How big will be your exploration budget next year?
I don't have the answer to that yet. We're going to take a look at so the last 2 years, we've been around 10 to 12 million Canadian in Alaska. And I don't think it'll be any less than that. It will probably be larger based on the results we've generated, particularly with the regional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.